Hi everyone, welcome to ZyNerd's NEET PG 2022 information series. I am Ashok. I've been supporting NEET PG aspirants for the last 8 years now. You'd have had feedback on our portal ZyNerd and our Telegram and FB group, which go by the name NEET PG Statistics from your seniors. Most of the information that you see today on NEET PG counseling, the allotments, the closing ranks, fees stipend and bond details that are available either in YouTube or in PDFs that are shared by counselors, and in the clone websites that have come up this year copying ZyNerd. The source is ours, exactly as a replica of ours. We are extremely happy that our information benefits you in some form or the other or reaches you in some form or the other. We'll keep updating everything first in our portal too as we move forward. This we basically consider as an acknowledgement to the effort we have put in over years for providing accurate information in exactly the way that we want. In a series of videos starting with this one now, we will be providing you information that helps you in the entire counseling. In this video, we'll be sharing information on how to approach NEET PG 2022 counseling in a very structured manner. So we will share with you steps that will help you in categorizing what needs to be done during the counseling. And then as we move forward, we will add on videos that will help you in clarifying, getting clarification on rules and regulations and knowing the process and how to approach each process at each stage of the counseling. Now, first we would, the first step that is very important is getting the certificates and documents ready. And next is to look at institutes, courses that you are interested in and the counselings that they fall under. Basically, the seats that you're interested in and which counseling you need to apply for these seats. And the third step, what we suggest is, now you know the seats and the counselings that you need to apply for getting those seats. The third step is to look at the possibility of you getting that particular seat in those counselings that they fall under. This, for the base for this is your NEET PG rank and the 2021 allotments and closing ranks info that is available in the portal. So either this is available either as PDFs that has been shared or it's available in ZyNerd. You can look at the 2021 allotments and closing ranks and look at a broad range of possibilities and then decide to apply for those counselings. The fourth is to understand those counselings. What is the process of counseling? What is the sequence of counselings? There are multiple counselings like all India counselings, multiple state counselings. What are the rules, regulations, etc. And finally, the evaluation or seats of choices, which is very critical. After finalizing that you are going to apply for these counselings and this is the range of possibilities and these are the eligibility for these counselings, evaluate the seats that come within your possible range to start with and then expand the range as you move forward to evaluate more and more seats that you can directly. We suggest that you evaluate directly with the residents or PGs or faculty of that particular institute. Finalize your choices based on the evaluation of seats. So this is what we suggest. We'll go through each step in detail, starting with certificates and documents that are required to be ready before the counseling starts. This is a list of the essential certificates that is required during All India joining. When we say essential certificates, these are mandated for All India joining. The rest of the certificates, institutes may be flexible, but these certificates are for sure required if you have to join All India counseling. Whichever is relevant for you, you will have to get them done. First is the allotment letter. This you will get after the allotment in your MCC login. So after round one allotment, you will get the allotment letter. It will be available in your login. Admit card. The admit card may be a hard copy that you have that you took to the exam, NEET PG exam, or a soft copy that you have saved in your email or you've saved in your laptop, desktop, etc. In the soft copy, you can affix your photograph and take that. Either of these would be sufficient. If this is not available, you have searched, but you're not able to get the hard copy or a soft copy, raise a query in the NBA communications portal. The link is available below. You raise a query with your details. They will be sending this across in a day or two. A link will be sent across and you'll be able to download those. The results are blank letter issued by NBA. Whenever NEET PG results are requested throughout the counseling, be it All India counseling or state counseling, you always refer to the scorecard that was released on June 8th, which is the ranks. The ranks were released on June 1st and then the scorecard was released on June 8th. Always get that NEET PG scorecard. And we suggest that all these certificates, whichever you have, which are required, save it in a drive or send it across to your email so that it is accessible at any location that you are in whenever it is required. And you have the mark sheets of, you will have to get the mark sheets of MBBS first, second, and third examinations. Some of them, some candidates have asked us queries on missing out one particular mark sheet for the second year, etc. Institutes are usually flexible on this part, but if you can get those before the counseling, you may have another few weeks before the counseling starts. Just get those from your institute, ask for a duplicate or get those in case you missed them. MBBS degree or provisional certificate, in case the MBBS degree has not been awarded, awarded yet by the university or institute, get a letter from the head of the institute or university that the MBBS degree certificate is yet to be provided to the candidates. Internship completion certificate from the head of institution, permanent or provisional registration certificate. There's a lot of confusion on whether I should get a registration done even before applying for counseling. No this is not required in any counseling. In most of the counseling brochures, you will even have this clause listed mentioning that any state medical council registration is enough, and you will have to register within a month or two after getting admitted. So don't worry about the PG state medical council registration. If it is different from your home state where you have registered, you can do that at a later point in time, but you need to have a permanent provisional registration certificate in any state across India, any one of the states across India, or in the or in IMC. So we have also mentioned here that the permanent or provisional certificates are applicable only for candidates. Sorry, the provisional is applicable for only for candidates who complete internship in 2022. Institutes are flexible on that actually. So, but your provisional registration should be a valid one, or at least you should have applied for a permanent registration. It should be in process in case you don't have this. An SSC or HSC certificate or a birth certificate, which is a date of birth proof, ID proof, any one of these mentioned, Aadhaar preferably, because many states actually ask for Aadhaar number, or some of the states ask for Aadhaar number or Aadhaar as a requirement. So better to have an Aadhaar. Most of you would have an Aadhaar available. Category certificates for All India Counseling. See, the formats of the category certificates are clearly mentioned in the NEET PG 2022 information brochure, the exam information brochure. We'll have a separate video on the formats and everything explained. What we would suggest is, as far as SC, ST, EWS, OBC certificates are concerned, the OBC NCL basically certificates are concerned, or the PWD certificates are concerned, get the exact format and get these done from your state authority. When you ask your state authority for a certificate or apply for it, it should be in the central institute format. If it is an OBC NCL certificate, the format is available. An EWS certificate should be as per central norms. For instance, the central norms has 8 lakhs as a criteria. In case your state has a different criteria, the certificate that you carry for All India Counseling should be as per central norms. And we also suggest that for an OBC NCL certificate, take one which was issued after April 1, 2022. In case you have a certificate issued before that, MCC may be flexible and modify the dates, but it is always advisable not to keep running around at the last minute in case MCC says that any certificate issued after April 1, 2022 alone is valid. So suggest that you take one after April 1, 2022 if you have the time and you can put in the effort. PWD certificate issued by the designated authorities. The disability verification centers are listed down. You can get these from the designated centers, and the documents that are required you can check with the disability verification centers. We'll also have a video on this. And the next one is the most important part is that all need to be submitted in original. These certificates have to be taken in original, provided in original, and submitted to the institute during all. Expect that it will be you'll have to submit it to the institute in All India Counseling when after you're allotted in round 1 when you're joining the institute. There might be very few DNB institutes which may not ask for submission of originals, but expect in case they ask you to submit the originals, even if it is a DNB institute, you will have to submit the originals because it is an MCC direction. Other certificates which are there post admission, you have this NRI certificates. These NRI Jain minority, Muslim minority certificates are required during admission in case you have claimed category as NRI, Jain minority, or Muslim minority. If you've applied under any of these categories, let's say you applied under OBC, EWS, PWD, and or NRI, Jain minority, Muslim minority, but you have been allotted a general seat. You have not been allotted a category seat or an NRI seat or a JM seat or MM seat, but have been allotted a Gen seat, then you don't need the certificates to be taken. Bond, check for the bond that needs to be submitted during admission. Many institutes would actually ask for a bond that needs to be submitted during the admission itself. Some states don't ask for a bond. Check with the institute, and in case your bond needs to be prepared on a stamp paper, get it done. And the sureties usually are either parents or one government officer, etc. So just check on the sureties and get them signed before you plan for travel to join the institute. Migration, eligibility, transfer, NOC, registration certificates, as listed, is they are only required in certain cases. In case your MBBS university is different from your PG university, or you're registering in you have registered in one state medical council and you're going to do PG in a different state medical council. These are not mandated by MCC for joining. Some institutes alone may request for a migration or a transfer certificate during joining as an mandate that you require that. If you have, you can get these certificates. In most of the cases, a migration certificate is relevant only when you move to a different PG unit. Obviously, it is only when you move to a different PG unit, and in most of the cases, the MBBS unit asks for which unit you move to. So you will be able to take this only after you know the allotment or where you're going to finally get admitted. So institutes would give you time. We have a separate video on this. Have a look at that video in detail on where to get, when to get, and when to submit. Gap certificate is required only for Maharashtra State Counseling. This is a simple certificate which mentions that I have completed my MBBS in this particular year, and then I had a gap of 2 years before doing my PG, and what you were doing, etc. This is a self-affidavit. You sign it, you print it on a stamp paper and then sign it, and then get notarized by a notary. So this can be done in a day, and this is required only for Maharashtra State Counseling. The other state candidates, don't worry about these certificates, even if it is mentioned under All India requirement in a particular institute. They would have a combined requirement mentioned for All India and State Counseling. For All India quota candidates or All India candidates, this will not be insisted. MBBS study certificate or bona fide certificate. This is a certificate that mentions you studied in a particular institute from a particular period, from this year to this year. It is usually from the head of the institution. Character and contact certificate could be mentioned as part of either bona fide or attempt certificate or passing certificate. So if character and contact is mentioned in those certificates, that would suffice. Attempt certificate or passing certificate, this is also provided by the institute, mentioning whether that you passed from the institute and you studied in this period, or you that these many attempts, you had these many attempts before completing your final MBBS. And these MCA recognition certificate may be required from the institute. Usually institutes provide an MCA recognition letter mentioning that this institute has been recognized by MCA as per this particular notification. If not, you can go to the NMC portal. The link will be available in the description. Get a printout of the NMC recognition against your institute, the NMC recognition row against your institute. Just select your institute, and then it will give you the NMC recognition information from which year it has been recognized. So just get that done. If you're applying in a state and you're eligible in that state only through nativity, residency, domicile criteria, then you have to submit a nativity, residency, or domicile certificate. If you don't have this now and you're eligible for a particular state through only this criteria, apply for one so that you have this ready before the state counseling starts. If you're a service certificate, obviously you have to go through the proper channel and submit the necessary proof for in-service candidates after getting approval or the particular authority to nominate you for in-service seats. Passport size photographs, take enough copies. If you have if you have the same photograph that you uploaded or had affixed in the admit card, take that. If not, that is fine, perfectly fine. You can take another passport size photograph. State category or community certificates. Note that we spoke about OBC, NCL, EWS formats, and even PWD from a disability verification center. State categories are different. OBC, NCL, EWS need not OBC, NCL need not necessarily be the same. EWS in some states may have a different criteria. SC, ST certificates are usually the same in the same format, but there might be some states where you might have to there might be a different categorization under SC, STs like STA, etc. So in that case, if under OBC your category is in the state is BC, MBC, or SCBC, or some other category, and similarly under other categories you have a different categorization, then get those state specific community certificates for state counselings. For PWD, and a certificate from the Disability Verification Center is enough for all India joining. Some states may have a state medical board which assesses you, so you'll have to go through that process for that particular availing PWD reservation under that particular state. Note that this community certificate or category certificate will be relevant for domicile candidates. If you are a non-domicile of a particular state, even though you may be eligible through MBBS for that particular state counseling, reservation may not be available for you. You might be a reserved candidate in your state, but you are attending another state government quota counseling because you did MBBS from the other state. You will be a general candidate in most of the states. Look at the brochure, it will be mentioned so, and take a call accordingly. Now, most of these certificates which are mentioned here may not be required for all India counseling. For state counselings, they may be insisted. Depending upon your state, get this certificates ready. In all India counseling, usually institutes are very flexible. They will not stop your admission unless you don't have any one of these certificates with you, which are required and mandated. So the link for all these certificates, the video is available in the description. We will add on these videos and share a link on what exactly these certificates are. The link for a complete explanation on these certificates is also available now. Institute courses and counseling. Look at institutes courses and counseling in detail. So basically what you will start with this, the list of institutes and counselings that they come under. So the websites are available. We have listed down the websites of each counseling of last year. Some of these may change this year. The institute wise, the counselings they come under are available too. For example, you are interested in a particular seat in a particular institute. The first thing to look for is with this institute, to get a seat in this institute, which counseling should I attend? So if an institute may be part of 2 counselings maximum, most likely. So look at that particular institute and you will be able to see against those institutes in these PDFs or in ZyNerd, which counselings they come under. So then you can look at what counselings, whether you can apply for those counselings, which will be in the next step. Counseling wise, let's say you're eligible for a particular counseling, you know for sure that you're eligible for a particular government quota counseling in your particular state, then the complete list of institutes are available in this cut. You will be able to see under each counseling what are the institutes that are available, and then go forward and look at seats too, if you want to look at it that way. The seats available in total, the entire list of seats available under NEET PG 2022 is available here under NMC information portal. You can select a particular course and you will know the entire list of seats available. There might be some, this might not be 100% right. There might be some information which are available, which is old. So they would suggest to wait for the seat matrix, which is the actual seat in a particular counseling, before basically for looking at right information. Addition of seats for 2022 as far as MDMS, PG diplomas, MDMS is concerned, this has not been added yet. The letter of permissions have not come in. There are a lot of counselors or a lot of groups that we see where it is mentioned that 200 seats have increased today, etc. No, the information is not reflecting in NMC, is not reflecting in NMC as of it. So this will be reflecting once the LOPs are released. It will be more at the time, it will come up at the time of counseling. So wait for that timeline, and we will be sharing the seat increase too in ZyNerd and in our Telegram and FB groups. DNB post MBBS, you can see the complete list of accredited seats, including the current accreditation for this year. But note that when you look at NEME post MBBS and NBE diplomas, not all seats would be surrendered every year. Let's say a seat has 5 DNB post MBBS seats in a particular specialty. The institute has the liberty to surrender only 3 seats for this year for whatever reasons. So in that case, only 3 seats would be available, whereas in the portal you will see 5 seats now. So so last year, as an example, you'll see out of 4,200 seats, 3,300 DNB post MBBS seats alone were surrendered. So do not expect that all seats will be surrendered, but this will give you a reference point on which institutes have which seats, so for evaluation. So the next part is basically, before moving to evaluation, looking at a possible range. How will I look at a possible range? I know my NEET PG rank. Now I will look at last year's allotments and closing ranks and then look at what are the possibilities for a broader range around my rank. That is the right approach to follow. So this is basically towards further shortlisting seats which are in my possible rank range as a priority before evaluation. So this step is not to define that I will get only these seats. This is to tell me that these are the most possible seats. Therefore, I will start evaluating them first before moving on to a broader range. So that is the purpose of this step. Look at allotments and closing ranks. Allotments and closing ranks are available as PDF format. In PDF format, the complete information is available in the Telegram group and the FB group, and in ZyNerd, where you'll be able to get it in an instance. Just by in a few clicks, you will be able to see every allotment and every closing rank of last year, except for few states which have not published information. The fees, type and bond and penalty details are also available in the portal for 90% plus institutes. You can also see them for government institutes and all India institutes like DMD, etc. In a PDF that we have shared. Take a broad rank range for evaluation. That is how you start first. Let's say your rank is 10,000. Start from 8,000, a 20% range. So for a ranker who's at 10,000, 2,000 would be a range plus or minus which he can take, range of plus or minus ranks which he can take for evaluation, which means start for 10,000, take a range of 8,000 to 12,000 ranks and look at what were the seats that were allotted between 8,000 and 12,000 last year. So this will give you a broad range of institutes for evaluation, and post this, filter down whatever seats you are interested in that possible range. Now, this will give you a set of seats that you can further evaluate directly at the institute or with the PG or faculty, etc. And then put in your choice preference for this rank range. This is a correlation just for evaluation. After you complete this evaluation of 8,000 to 12,000, you can still move forward and then look at 7,000 to 13,000 if you have enough time, and look at those seats as well for evaluation. So if it is very difficult, it is usually very difficult to evaluate a large set of seats. So that is why this defined range. This does not mean that you will not get any seat which closed at 7,000. There are certain factors which you should keep in mind. Even a seat that closed at rank 100 may be available for you in case last year it was taken as a locational preference. Let's say the candidate rank 100 has a huge locational preference or a disadvantage that he or she cannot move to a different location. Then a seat could have been, a single seat could have been taken at a rank 100. But if not for that particular locational preference, the seat would have been usually allotted from 8,000 or 9,000, etc. at 8,000, 9,000. So in that case, you may miss out that seat during evaluation. And we sincerely suggest, don't limit your choices to just your rank range. Right from rank 1, pull out all the seats and order them as per your preference and fill in that as your choice is what we always suggest. If it is very difficult, don't have a smaller rank range. If it is 10,000, at least have a rank range of 5,000, 6,000, let's say 4,000 to 14,000 rank range possibilities filled in as your choices. Do not miss a choice just because you think you will not get it. Similarly, category of seats may change. For instance, a seat which was in general category this year may move on to an EWS category. Same way, an EWS category seat may move on to a general category seat this year. So last year, something was under EWS, might not have been available for you since you are a general category student. This year, that may be available. So don't miss that choice. Keep looking at the seat matrix for all choices that are available. And then if you find a choice which was not there last year, you will have to plug it in the right preference order. So that is very important. Always the suggestion, one of the major suggestions, and is that always fill a choice even if there is a minor chance of it being allotted. Do not look at the possibility of you getting that choice. What you are filling in is your order of preference. Accommodate for the increase in seats, and in case there are changes in rules, policies, accommodate for that. The step 4 is process and sequence of counseling. Understanding that the sequence of counseling is this: All India round 1 starts, the choice filling, the application form registration, everything starts, and results are published. Prior to this, state round 1 application form, everything can start prior to All India round 1 results. But only after All India round 1 results are published, state round 1 results are published. Similarly, All India round 2's process choice filling may start before state round 1 results in certain states, but only after state round 1 results are published, all India round 2 results will be published. Similarly, state round 2 after all India round 2 results, and all India mop-up results after state round 2 results, and so on. Now, there may be some parallels around this range, around round 2 or around mop-up, etc., where there'll be overlaps. But the usual process that you need to understand when you start looking at the counseling is that I will know my all India round 1 results, then I will know my state round 1 results. I can make a choice between these two and then go into all India round 2. I'll know my all India round 2 results, and I will have to make a choice at that point in time, which we'll explain in the video. And then I will have my state round 2 results, and then I will have my all India mop-up counseling, state mop-up, all India stray, and state stray or institute rounds, multiple rounds which happen in state depending upon the state. Now, what we would also like to know what is the process. I know that this is a sequence of counseling. What happens in each counseling as a process? First, the counseling is notified. There will be a notification mentioning that this is, and the schedule is also intimated. The notification usually contains an information, has the information brochure also published, which will have the eligibility and other criteria for applying for that counseling. You apply or register for that counseling, and you upload documents. As far as All India is concerned, you don't need to upload any documents. Your information from NEET PG exam is directly taken in for registration, so you don't need to upload any document. You just have to select which category of seats, All India quota or deemed quota, etc., DNB seats. Whether you're interested in that seats is what you need to select during the registration process. Only for NRI or PWD candidates, and prior to the choice filling, a registration, a notification will be published asking them to send across documents, which are scanned documents, for confirming that they are NRI or PWD candidates. A merit list is usually released, not in All India counseling. This will be released well ahead in All India counseling. This is not relevant. You can ignore it for All India counseling. Choice filling happens online, and allotment list is published. Admissions at the allotted institute happens. Now, this is the first step. All India round 1 happens this way. Then states happen. Now, the only thing is, during this process, just before publishing of allotment result, this processes may happen in parallel. You might be filling choices for All India, and at the same time you might be applying for multiple counselings, and you may have your merit list, everything done in state, and you will know where you fall under your state. This depends on state. But only after publishing of allotment result of All India, you will have your publishing of allotment result of state. So these may be in parallel. We will explain this in detail on what to do in a different video. As of now, understand that the parallels exist here and not in allotment list publishing, which will be in sequence. Usually, you'll be able to select between your All India round 1 and state round 1. And at the end of this entire round ones, you will have one seat in hand, which will be either your All India round 1 seat or a state round 1 seat. Next, All India round 1, round 2 choice filling starts, and then another publishing of allotment list happens, admissions happen. Similarly, our state round 2 choice filling starts, and this is a cycle that keeps continuing usually. Rarely there will be fresh registrations in few states that happen. Most of the states allow registration during round 1. Some states alone allow registration during new registrations during round 2. Now we have completed our admissions. You would have completed admissions in All India round 1, state round 1, All India round 2, or state round 2. Does that mean you will have to join your course immediately? No. Usually only after All India round 2, your courses commence. That is, reporting to your institute for duties commence only after the end of All India round 2. So let's be very clear about it. After admissions in All India round 1 or state round 1, you will not be asked to join duties. You can come back and wait for round 2s, and once your seat is finalized in All India round 2 and or state round 2, you can go and join duties. This will be after August 1st for sure, because July 31st is the deadline for internship. It will be after August 1st. After this, it will at least be 1.5 months after the start of the first round. So when, let's say, All India round 1 starts in July mid, this may even extend up to September 1st. So that is how it is usually, unless there is a huge delay and there is a requirement for immediate joining of candidates. This is how it is. From the start of counseling, after round 2 ends, which will be 1.5 months later, you will commence your course or start duties. Till then, you will be attending counselings at your place, wherever you are. Now, there are a few points to remember. Originals are to be deposited during joining. At any point in time, a candidate can be admitted in only one seat. For instance, a candidate is admitted in All India Round 1 and gets a better seat in State R1. That is just an allotment, not an admission. To get admitted in State Round 1, you have to get relieved from All India Round 1 seat, get your originals and bring them to the State Round 1 institute, submit it there, and only then you can get admitted. So by the time you join your State Round 1 seat, your All India Round 1 resignation would be already over. So at any point in time, a candidate may be admitted in one seat and allotted in another seat. But at no point in time, a candidate can be admitted in two seats. This is the usual process of upgradation. There will be a lot of people complaining, saying that, see, this candidate has been allotted in both All India R1 and State R1, but the candidate will be holding only one seat. In the sense, the candidate will be admitted in only one seat at any point in time. This is effectively done through the submission of originals, which is required at any admission stage. A suggestion which is very crucial is try to finalize your choices before round ones, before All India Round 1 starts. The maximum choices you finalize before All India Round 1, lesser is the confusion as you move forward. Don't miss out on any rules, eligibility, exit rules, etc. Don't assume anything, whatever anyone says. Just look at proper brochures, or look at those you're confident, look at groups where you're confident about. You can join our group. We will give you a complete idea of what rules are there on exits or eligibility for the further rounds in state counselings or All India counselings very clearly. Even if you have the slightest chance of a preferred seat, register for a counseling. Some don't miss out a seat since you thought twice about 3K, 4K registration fees before round 1. Many states don't allow registrations post round 1. Thinking about this, many candidates have lost good seats because they just want confirmation before registering for a seat. Many candidates call up and ask, sir, will you confirm that I'll get the seat? Otherwise, why should I spend 3K? Why are you asking me to spend 3K? It is 1 year's preparation. Even if you have the slightest chance, please register, knowing that it is a very, very minor chance. Please register and be ready to travel. Plan for fees or additional cost of travel. After joining, let's say, All India Round 1, you haven't got your refund for All India Round 2 joining when you upgrade. Plan for this fees. This might be required in some cases. So plan for this fees. Be ready to travel. There might be situations where you'll have to travel and join in within 3 days. Be ready to travel. It is a very difficult phase. It is not right for certain counseling authorities to put candidates to through such hassles, etc. It is very frustrating. All said and done, the deadlines will be adhered to. So please be ready to travel. Whether or not you complain, the deadlines may not move. Assume the worst and always be ready to travel. And there is a cost involved, we know, but this is a difficult phase where you will have to have a lot of hardships just around 3 months before you join the final deserving seat. Take that. And the sequence of All India versus state counselings, we have represented in detail in the video video link that we will be sharing. Have a look at that. You will, for your decisions on All India versus state round 1, and in what timeline you will have to decide, what is very clearly explained in that video. So we went through this, and the last step is evaluation of choices. So like we said, start from possibilities range. If it is 10,000, 8,000 to 12,000, whatever was allotted last year, take that range, look at your preferred seats among that range, and then look at connecting with institutes. You look at seat matrix for changes in the categories, etc., and then make your go for a broader range after you have completed evaluating your first set of seats. Re-evaluate all social media feedback. Candidates who are asking queries on social media, it is understandable that you don't have information and therefore you're looking for feedback, but you're looking for feedback from aspirants. Very few would be seniors, but if you're looking at a group, it will be aspirants. Especially when it is negative, there is a lot of misinformation, usually saying that bonds are very difficult. It will be in rural areas. There is toxicity, language or region related concerns, north versus south, pass percentages are very low, saturation of specialties, DNB is not equal and don't take a DNB, permitted versus recognized seats, don't take a permitted seat, etc. Go evaluate for permitted versus recognized. We have put in a very long video explaining the entire risk, why it is very less risky to take a permitted seat today compared to earlier. So take a call after verifying information, especially when it is misinformation. There is a lot of misinformation. To save preferred seats, if you're looking at social media feedback, please rethink. Always check with seniors PGs or faculty references, talk to a senior from your same state if possible. It should be a little difficult to get a reference, but you should be able to get at least one reference, and they would be helpful for sure. They will be they'll let you know exactly what is happening, and that would be really helpful for you. If possible, take one or two references for us for the same institute or state. There are a lot of reviews given by candidates on certain portals. Even then, we would always suggest check with seniors or PGs or faculty references. There is a reason why ZyNerd doesn't have it. It is because the right reference is possibly a direct reference where you talk about your factors. That is when you will get right feedback. A common reference which is not validated, an individual perception on certain areas may not be the right thing for you. When you talk to a senior or a PG or a faculty, check with them on these major factors. We have listed down these. If you haven't have them noted down before the conversation, it will be helpful. Specialty evaluations, institutes, the number of beds, any regional factors that you want to check with them. Feedback on the department, the environment, you'll may be able to check it with seniors or PGs only. Faculty and the PGs, you can check with them on which faculty is available. If there is a specific faculty who's really good in a particular institute, that may be very good from an ACADS perspective. Check on that. The number of PGs, the shift pattern, how difficult it is to manage shifts during the first year usually. Academics, if that is a requirement for you. Academics, type of cases managed, the hands-on or chances, the pass percentages, though we won't suggest you to have much emphasis on pass percentages, because we have seen that there are changes even within the same institute across years, but you may want to check those. Language, which is basically the time taken to adjust. You will for sure adjust in any locality. As far as language is concerned, you will learn the basics. You talk to your senior from your same state, you would be able to see this, but the time taken to adjust, or whether you want to go ahead and do that, it is up to you. How important it is a factor for you is up to you. Travel or location concerns, in case you want to frequently travel back to family, whether there is possibility of travel, mode of transport is available, etc. If that is a concern. Accommodation, if you're moving with family, what is the accommodation possibility, whether there is a family accommodation provided in the institute, etc. Food, if that is a concern. Yes, some candidates do have this concern. So if it is that, list down these and check with them, and then take a call. It might not be a conversation which is more than 10 minutes for each institute, and you will for sure be able to do that, because you have ample 3 weeks at least from now for checking each institute or each seat for that matter. Fees, stipend, service bond, and penalty details, go for the latest. There will be a lot of institutes, especially sorry about this reference, but a lot of PDFs that are available are last year's, which we have shared. We will get the update and we will share it in ZyNerd for each institute, the fees, stipend, bond, and penalty details. So when you look at ZyNerd, you will have at least the latest information, or we will share it as PDFs for the government institutes or all India institutes at least, so that everybody benefits. So get those information for this year. Don't, before the choice filling, again revisit the fees, stipend, and bond details, because these change year on year. Unlike allotments, which is a last year's reference, which will give you a possibility idea, this may change and it may be crucial. So look at it again before choice filling. Other relevant institute information, whatever you wish to have regarding the institute, when it started, etc., so that you can take from the during evaluation, and then list down your choices in order. Now, only thing is, this should be a preference order. Basically, my first preference is my first preference, irrespective of whether I will get it or not. My second preference is the one that comes after my first preference, and after my second preference is my third preference. So this is what you need to list down, irrespective of whether you get that choice or not, and that will be the order that you fill in during choice filling. Don't limit your choices again to possibilities. There might be seat matrix related changes in terms of new seats and category changes. Some seats which will be eligible for this year. So have a look at those before the choice filling. Finally, surround yourself with positive people. We always suggest that surround yourself with positive people. There'll be a lot of people who complain about the process, about hassles that you face, about the institute specialty that you are going to take, etc. You will be unhappy if you surround yourself with such people. Always surround yourself with positive people. You will get the best seat you deserve. That is for sure, if you attend counseling in a structured manner, looking at proper information and having the proper information after you as you move ahead. That will be the best deserving seat. So go with a happy, go happily when you join the seat. If you're with the other set, you will end up unhappy even if you get the most deserving seat. Go with rules as mentioned by the authority. After round 2, at around the time when round 2 comes in, there will be a lot of pressure on a lot of candidates on which seats they will get, and there will be a lot of unhappiness because there will be a lot of expectations that there will be huge shifts, etc., which don't usually happen, and they will not end up with right seats. At that point in time, each one will interpret their rule as they wish to. Ignore comments, ignore interpretations of rules. Better not to argue in social media. Adhere to what exactly the authorities mentioned. If it is a state authority, the state authority this year, at least we expect that they will be clear, because after a lot of confusion last year. Similarly, MCC should be clear this year. We will clarify it in our Telegram and FB groups as well, to the extent possible, to the extent we can get information, whether it is legal, whether it is MCC's notifications, interpretation of past history, etc. We will do that. Always go with what the authorities mention as rules, and if something is possible as per rules, you are eligible to do that. And evaluate seats yourself. There are a lot of reviews. We know that there are a lot of webinars that are conducted, which will give you good information. But generic text-based evaluations, it is always better to go with direct evaluation from your end than a text-based evaluation that you have in portals. That is the reason why we don't have that in ZyNerd. When you talk to a PG or a faculty or somebody who is in an institute, you will get to know exactly the factors that you wish to know, and you will also be able to get more information based on what you exactly consider important. It is not the same for everyone. So evaluate seats yourself to the extent possible. If you're unable to evaluate, obviously you have to go with whatever choices are there or whatever preferences were given by others last year. But otherwise, try to evaluate as much as possible and decide choices well ahead. Don't miss a choice that you wish to join. In round 1, I will not participate in round 1, because why participate in round 1 and then go to join an institute and then upgrade in round 2? Don't take the decisions. A lower ranker may get a seat. 15% of seats closed at low were taken at a lower rank, and then candidates ended up not getting those seats last year in all India. Don't make that mistake. Even though some of them are a different set of seats, you have a risk when you miss a particular round and then go join and start filling choices from a subsequent round in a counseling. So don't miss a choice that you wish to join. Don't fill a choice that you will not join. Just by filling out choices, you may become ineligible in certain state counselings. You fill a choice and you don't join, you're not eligible for the next counselings. In certain counselings, you lose your security deposit. There will be a lot of confusion after you fill a choice, you go there, etc. Try to ensure that your choice preference is very clear. You're very clear about your choice preference before you fill in choices. It is not possible 100%, we know that, but still try your max to get information and get your choice order ready before round 1. So that's it from us. Hope this video was helpful for you. We will be adding on a lot more videos as we move forward. We'll be adding a lot more information on ZyNerd as we move forward. You will see how ZyNerd has helped your seniors, and you would have got feedback on that. And now you would also see how ZyNerd helps you in providing you max information that is possible. So if you want to get that ZyNerd advantage, join ZyNerd. We are also available on Telegram and FB, where we provide information on queries and clarification support in our groups. If you wish to join those groups too, the links are available in the description. Hope this was helpful. Do share. It was a long video, but I think we have covered most of the points that are required. Each of these steps we will cover in detail in our later videos. Thank you.